everybody there, the contestants, the judges, I think everyone enjoyed themselves, including the audience. And that hit me more than anything else that came out of that, is that this lady had never met me. She knew about the things the city has accomplished, and now she saw me on not as a politician or not as the guy sitting at the council, but this human being out there willing to put himself on the line just as a person. And I think that meant a lot to me. I know it meant a lot to me more than anything else.
Yeah. Thing I didn't understand, you said you were for some reason going to donate to the policeman's what?
Yeah, we have our Kennewick Police Department established a fund. Dave Redder, who owns Windermere, Dave Redder came to us a few months ago, and he says, I would like to start a new program. And the program goes like this. Certain people in the community donate money. Some of us donated fairly large sums of money. And we put it into a bank account, and we issue every police officer a credit card, a prepaid credit card. And the purpose of this credit card or debit card was, there are so many instances where our police department runs into a situation that they want to help the individual, but they don't have the funds for it, and trying to get that taken care of, it takes too long. For example, last weekend we had a young lady with a 10-year-old daughter. She had lost her job. They were trying to get to the west side of the state from the east part of the country. The car broke down, had a flat tire, and they were sleeping in their car because they had run out of money and had no way of finishing the trip. They had no money hardly to eat on, and the police came on them, found out their story, verified the story, and took them to a hotel, checked them into the hotel for 2 nights, took the car, had it towed, had the repairs done to the car, and filled up the car with gas to get them to the west side of the state, to get them to where they're trying to get to. And they were able to do that using these credit cards. Had we not had that, we would have had to go through agencies. We would have had to try to find some other way to try to help them. This way, we get them off the street, get them out of their car. This young 10-year-old girl had no business sleeping in a car. But what happens is it makes you feel like you're doing something for the good. We hear so much about bad in the police department. Now we're seeing the good side of it. So I committed 2 charities. One is that if I were to win, my winnings would go to the Union Gospel Mission, which is one of my favorite charities. But in addition to that, whether I win or not, I was going to put another rather large sum of money into this program. And so afterwards, and I had a lot of support from some of the leaders in our community. And Dave Redder had sent out an email telling us one of the recent situations that had arisen and how the police, and we always get a report how the money's being used. And so I wrote back and said, well, I didn't fall down at the dance, therefore I'll make my donation on Tuesday. And so that was the second donation. And I made that whether I won or lost, just if I didn't fall down and embarrass myself.
Well, that's a good story, but I have never heard anything about that.
Well, it hasn't. We had one press conference. I couldn't attend the press conference, so my wife, Anita, and I have a foundation that we started about 10 years ago. And so I don't make a donation unless she's on board with it. And so she attended the press conference in my place. And so we had the one press conference. There was an article in the newspaper. I talked a little bit about it on Kona Radio, but that's about all that's been said. We welcome any donations, because this is the kind of thing that we should be doing for the community, helping people who truly are in need, not those who act like they're in need.
Yeah. Well, but we're a rich community overall.
And we're a giving community.
And there's so many things, and so it's hard to pick an event.
Right.
But I appreciate.
Well, I think this event, this particular event, this was the first time, and a lot of lessons were learned. But being the type of personality I am, the fact that I have always had this position of trying to solve problems, create new programs. Even when I worked for you, that was part of the job, was to, the Quality Training Resource Center was a good example of that. But, so I'm watching this whole event unfold, and what we need to do is we need to get our sponsors in place early, like next month. We start getting those lined out. Secondly, you have to start marketing. The celebrities are critical to draw people. The higher the celebrity, the better the draw. But finally, I think in our community, there has to be stability. In other words, consistency. So if we're going to do it again, let's do it for 10 years. Let's do something like this, whether it's Dancing with the Stars each year or some other event along that line. Lay out a plan for 10 years to do this and watch this thing grow, because people will donate, especially if it's involving an event. And if you do one like this, if you can do it in the winter months in our community, it will double or triple the attendance. People are always looking for things to go to that are entertaining, fun, and not overly expensive. And the price of these tickets were not overly expensive. So there's so much more we could do, but we got to lay out our sponsorships, who's connected to this, who are those people. Others want to come out and watch themselves become human. But you take a guy like Chief Ken Hohenberg, our police chief. He's probably one of the most well-known people in the state, especially in the world of police work. And he's constantly in Washington, D.C. There's an individual, just by having him do this, will draw a huge crowd, only because people see the other side of him as the chief of police. You bring him in where he's not in uniform and he's up there somewhat humiliating himself, or at least making himself a human being in front of people. People want to see that.
Well,